You're doing some stuff around the house, coming or going to work, studying, chores, or even trying to sleep, and you like background noise. If you're looking for something like that, you came to the exact right place. My name's Cookie, and I read stories online from people that they put on this horrendous network they call the internet, and I judge some people online, so let's get into it while I build this house in Minecraft. This story reads, am I the asshole for telling my sister that our biological dad is not my dad, and if she can't accept that, maybe she's not my sister either? My biological dad has been dead since I was a baby. I have zero memories of him, and for a good amount of my childhood, I had no father figure. Sure, my mom and my siblings told me stories about him, but that is not the same as actually knowing someone. When I was 11, my mom married Jim, which is a fake name. He became my father figure while my sister only tolerated him. This is when my relationship with my sister and I started to fall apart. She has always been mad about me replacing dad. She would make me feel bad about thinking him as my father figure and that I was betraying my biological dad. Our relationship got better after she went to college. The issue is, I was looking through old photos with my mom and we saw a few of my biological dad at a theme park with my siblings. Apparently, before he died, he would do a little theme park trip with the kids. I asked Jim if we could do a theme park and have some pictures. He agreed and we went this weekend. I had a great time and posted some pictures on Instagram. My sister didn't take it well. We got into an argument. She claims I have been betraying my biological dad and basically how dare I do something that my biological dad did with them, but with Jim. I pointed out that I see Jim as my dad, that I literally call him dad. It went on for a while, and she told me that I was being a bad daughter for replacing him. I had enough and told her that our biological dad ain't my dad, that my dad is Jim, and if she can't accept that, then maybe she's not my sister either. She went to my other sibling, and I'm basically being told to apologize. I don't want to. I'm sick of her making me feel bad that I think of Jim as my dad, and I don't even remember biological dad at all. It wasn't even the same theme park. The one we went to opened last year. I talked to my grandma, and she helped me come up with a list about all the times my sister made me feel bad for having a relationship with Jim. It was pretty long, and I have decided to take a step back from that relationship. I am tired of feeling bad for having a father figure. I am tired of feeling bad for having a father figure. I should not have to hide that I like my dad or be screamed at because I made him a Father's Day card, which happened multiple times and she even ripped one of them up. I hope my sister get her help that she needs, but I am done. She's 22 and should not be screaming at me over this. My relationship with him doesn't affect her at all. For everyone thinking this was in spite, it really wasn't. It was me living my life, and I don't wish to walk on glass around her anymore. I should be able to go on a daughter dad day and post about it without being screamed at. Listen, dude, in all fairness, okay? Your biological dad died. He didn't leave, so we can't judge him. Your mother married a man, and props to that man for being a good man, okay? He was he was a good enough man that you love him almost as you like your own father. You love this man so much, you basically like him as if you like your biological dad. You don't care about the biology behind it. You care that this is your father and you love this man. And that is beautiful. Not many step husbands or stepfathers do this and happen to be in that situation. The only person I can blame here is the asshole, which is your sister. I believe that she's a complete asshole. However, I believe that if she's older, perhaps she's a bit connected with your biological dad. Maybe she knew him on a different level and she feels like he's being replaced and that hurts. Sure, she's acting like an asshole. And sure, it is not your responsibility to pay for those pains. It is not your responsibility to handle her emotions to some sort of level. And it seems like you have some other older siblings, but I don't think you should apologize, okay? This is the person you grew up with. This is the person that you loved and felt loved by. It is more than being alive to be a father figure. And it is hard being a father figure, okay? What I'm trying to say is forgive your sister. Maybe she lived something that you didn't. Maybe she knows something that you didn't. And thank Jim. Love Jim. The only choice that you have here is love and acceptance and appreciation for everybody around you. It is a very touchy situation and it's very difficult to. Another thing that I want to add is the insensitivity. Now, the author here didn't include everything, obviously, and maybe her getting screamed at multiple times is what broke her, and she decided to say what she said. But it definitely hurt her siblings of what she said, and not including ages in the story definitely tells us that the rest of the siblings are older and they knew their father, of course. So again, all I can say is love and appreciation for everybody in that situation. And sure, some situations you can just tell people to just fuck off, but this is definitely not one of them. I'm sorry, dude. So moving on. Unfortunately, you all are assholes. Except Jim. We all love Jim. Jim is a cool guy. Moving on. Am I the asshole for interrupting my autistic brother's routine for my own physical pain? Throw away because I think my friends know my account. Which is a 17, I have a brother who's 15 male, who's autistic. He has a routine where he comes downstairs at night, watches TV when no one else is down, and falls asleep on the couch. Lately, my bed has become uncomfortable to the point of pain. For context, I have hyperflexibility, a connective tissue disorder, and scoliosis. And as a result of my scoliosis, my shoulders are wonky. That's a funny word, wonky. Wonky. And my left shoulder blade grinds against my ribs, but also causes generic pain, and means that too much pressure on my back for an extended period of time causes quite severe pain, such as laying on my mattress. My mattress is very old. It came from my older sister who had it for 10 plus years. Jesus Christ, guys, change your damn mattress. What the fuck? 10 years. Whoa. In somewhat mild, moderate use. Bullshit. you have a, you have a mattress that's older than some people these days. Some kids are younger than that mattress, and you're trying to convince me it's in mild or moderate use. Bullshit. And I've had it now for 5 plus years. That that mattress is more than 15 years old. That mattress is older than your brother, gang. Oh my god. Change your damn mattress. Wow. The foam on top of the metal frame has worn down, and now I can feel the frame no matter where or how I lie. Maybe it's the reason you have scoliosis, dog. And I wake up in quite severe pain. I also spend a couple hours winding down before I sleep, and so, as of late, I have been coming downstairs to watch the TV to wind down myself, so I spare myself from a couple of hours in the bed on the mattress, and it does actually help. However, my brother has now decided to find it a problem, and this has caused arguments and issues. He has also brought our parents into this, who naturally take his side because it's his routine, don't break it. Even when my issues are brought up, he just decided to go up and yell at my parents when I told him preemptively that I was going to come downstairs, and clearly my parents for once took my side as he came down and gave me a bunch of verbal abuse. Damn. I don't do this every night, just the nights I have the worst pain from several nights of no break. And I don't tell him he can't be down. I tell him he's more than welcome to sit on the love chair. We also have it in the living room, with the only request that he either uses headphones or has low to no volume on his phone without headphones, so I can actually focus and enjoy what I'm watching. However, he has decided that clearly that is the worst condition ever and has his volume up full, which I know my parents will be able to hear. I feel bad, but I also know I need to put my health first because no one else in this house will. My parents disregard my bountiful issues and tell me I'm overdramatic even when they themselves have it and experienced it as they passed it down to me. Funny. So, am I the asshole? Should I just suck it up? I do have a TV in my room, but it's only accessible to watch on my bed. And he also has a computer in his room with access to everything the TV has. So, it's not like he doesn't have options. If I need more context or information, please tell me what to do. The author also left some notes over here, saying that they are in the UK, specifically Scotland. You Americans are very helpful, but Walmart doesn't exist here, unfortunately. For some reason, why Walmart? I don't have a job. No one wants to hire a 17-year-old because most will quit to focus on uni. The NHS is shockingly unhelpful. Oh no. It can take years for a referral. It took them 2 months before I had to phone them to email my teachers and note for accommodations for exams. Wow. My brother is definitely high functioning. He will live a relatively normal life with minimal limitations. Obviously, he has symptoms and it does affect his day. Okay. I'm not going to read the rest because it's not really effective. One last thing that they mentioned here, that he is too tall apparently for the bed, and that's why he built this routine. Listen, dog, steal the fucking couch and take it to your room. I swear to God, that would be a baller ass move. Just go, queen, whatever. No, 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 we don't do this around here. Listen, this. Your brother is autistic. Just work on moving out if it's that bad. And you don't need to have a job to make a little bit of money to get a new mattress. I always believe that if you have a dollar in your pocket or a pound in your case, you are the king or the queen of yourself. Nobody else can control you if you have a pound in your backpack or your pocket or whatever. You know what I mean, right? So you need to get some cash ASAP. Save up if your family pays you money of some kind. Try to do some part-time jobs, be a cashier, work at a restaurant, try to do anything so you can save up and get a damn mattress. And after that, moving on, you can just leave the house. I moved out when I was 17 as well. It was very difficult. It was very difficult for me to move out, but I was making a very decent amount of money to be enough for me and even to waste. Thankfully, all of that money is gone, so don't ask me where it's gone. But all you need to know that money gives you a lot of power intensely. Now, if you cannot get that money for some reason, if your health doesn't allow you, if you cannot get a job for some legal reasons, in those cases, I recommend that you need to talk as a family. I understand your brother is autistic, but he's not stupid, okay? I've known autistic people, they're really cool most of the time. Some of them can be very annoying. Some of them can be great. Some of them are incredibly genius and intelligent. Now, you can just sit with your brother and try to explain to him your situation. If he downplays your emotions, if he downplays your feelings, then you can keep score. In the future, you can just use that against him now, or later, or against your family. It's a bad thing. It's an asshole move then. But right now, you're not the asshole. If you're being downplayed, if you're being disregarded emotionally and physically, man, you gotta step away. You gotta step away emotionally from that whole situation because they're not, apparently. And yeah, you're not the asshole. Everybody is the asshole. They need to regard you more as their daughter. So not only that your brother has those special needs, you also have special needs. Both of you are special needs kids, and both of you need to be taken care as of. The only thing is that your brother is the one that is more apparent, and that's why your parents are taking care more of him or paying more attention to his situation, because maybe he's more troublesome. Maybe he's making more situations. Maybe he's the one who's, attracting the attention more, which is natural and normal, and I understand it. If I was living in that house, I would definitely tell who needs more frequent attention, and it's definitely your brother. Now, am I downplaying you as well? Absolutely not. You also have special needs, but they're physical more than mental. So if there's somehow an instability or an unfairness, is that even a word, in the treatment to both of you, you need to make it very clear that you feel abused. Bruh, he's literally abusing you. So yeah, dude, you A, need to get some cash. B, work on explaining your situation, and both of you have needs that need to be taken care of. And if they cannot take care of those things, then you will start handling situations on your own. Or just take the fucking couch upstairs. Just like I told you, just take the damn couch upstairs. Trust me, it is a baller ass situation. Trust me, dude. You can get that solution for yourself and nobody can say anything about it. It's gonna be so fucking dope. And you're gonna fall into so much trouble. But once you take that couch upstairs, nobody will take it downstairs because they are too lazy to do it, because they are apparently too lazy to fix the situation between both of you. So they will definitely not take that couch downstairs. But try to get some help with some friends because of your back and your scoliosis. Don't hurt yourself because you listen to some random dude on the internet. Don't do that. Don't do that. So yeah, moving on. So, am I the asshole for rejecting my mother-in-law's challenge and giving her instructions to learn how to knit? I am a knitter. As someone who knits and enjoy making all kinds of things. But for the most part, I knit things for me or my husband. I don't have the heart to buy a nice yarn. a pattern and put hours into making something for someone just to watch it to be treated like crap. I have no say over what others do with the things I give them, so I just don't. So, am I the asshole for rejecting my mother-in-law's challenge and giving her instructions to learn how to knit? I am a knitter and enjoy making all kinds of things, but for the most part, I knit things for me or my husband. I don't have the heart to buy a nice yarn, a pattern, and put hours into making something for someone just to watch it to be treated like crap. I have no say over what others do with the things I give them, so I just don't. My mother-in-law said, "I have a challenge for you if you're up to it." She pointed at a picture on her phone and said that the challenge was for me to make her a Sophie scarf that would match a dress. I asked her, why is she framing it as a challenge when it's just her asking me to knit something for her? She didn't have an answer and just said if I'm up to the challenge, I can try it. I asked my husband what I should do. He just said flat out no. But I figured it would be nice to at least meet her halfway. I asked her to send me a picture of the dress and went to my yarn store to buy a yarn in a color I thought would be a good pair of needles from my own stash. I got her a Learn to Knit book. The next time I saw her, I gave it all to her and said that here's all the stuff she would need to make her Sophie scarf, except the pattern she'd need to buy herself. She looked at it like, what the heck, and said in this pity voice, "Oh, you couldn't figure it out?" Man, fuck this woman. I said, nope, I've made a few myself, but I thought it would be better for her to learn and know how to knit, and she would be able to challenge herself. She frowned at me, but didn't say anything else to me and just set the yarn aside. She did, however, go to my husband and tell him that all she had done was give me a challenge, but I hadn't even tried. He heard her out and told her that it was ultimately up to me. I have unfortunately seen her posting on her Facebook about how she doesn't get my generation and why we have to make everything so difficult. I thought this was an interesting question to pose to you all. So, am I the asshole? So, for some reason, everybody is calling her the asshole in the story, and I don't understand why. This woman is not the asshole in the story, everybody. I disagree with everybody. And if you disagree with me thinking that she is the asshole, respectfully fuck you. Because the reason that she could be an asshole is because she didn't articulate no. She didn't say no. Her husband did, which is her son. But that woman is a massive asshole, okay? She played a manipulation tactic over here. She was like, "Hey, you wait, let me do a grandma voice. You don't know how to do this, so I challenge you to do it, and I believe that you cannot do this because you suck, and how about this? Prove to me that you're wrong," and whatever, right? Listen, dude, she's trying to manipulate you into getting her something for free just so it can fit her dress, which is something I understand. It's a very low-hanging fruit move. You're not the asshole in the story, honestly, and I don't understand why people are calling you the asshole over here. It's weird. Some guy here said that you didn't tell her no, and your husband did, so that negates your no, which is weird. I don't understand that system. The negation of no's. And also the part of her making a passive-aggressive point. Some commenters also said that this is a passive-aggressive note, as her giving her all the tools that she needs to make the thing herself. Man, you did absolutely amazing. She's a lazy old woman who's expecting everything to be handed to her for free. And at such a moment in my life, if I believe that I need to do some things because I want to get better at them, like for example, I make music. I'm willing to make some people some music for free if I care about them, or if I'm willing to make a collaboration with them, because it gives me the ability to grow. It gives me a better chance to grow and learn more things. But if you're already good and you know how to make those things and stuff people can actually wear, that's an amazing skill that you've built over the years. And of course, I'm not gonna put hours and effort into something like that and just watch it to be treated like shit. I understand that. So, no, she's trying to manipulate you into getting something for free. You gave her all the tools that she needs to make the thing herself. She's an old woman with all the time in the world. She's literally a grandmother at this point, or a mother-in-law. I don't fucking know. She could be a grandmother. I don't know. You didn't mention it. And regardless, with all the time, she can do it. She still didn't. And she doesn't like it. And she still made a passive-aggressive note about you on Facebook. So, I don't think you're the asshole. Moving on. Am I the asshole for quitting during a short staff crisis? Hi, everyone. I, 26 female, work for a well-known insurance company in my country, and I've worked here for almost 4 years. We've gone through many managers in the time that I've worked here. Other than that, I enjoy the work and I like the people I work with, not for. The issue arose in the middle of last year where everyone was packed with work and it seemed like more work and deadlines kept coming. Everything was marked as priority. Staff had concerns because out of everything we do, what should we actually be prioritizing? We never received clarity on that. To this moment, I started feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, and anxious about dates. This is where I decided to start updating my resume and start job hunting. When I submitted my resignation, which was one calendar month notice, which was given, very professional, thank you, I was met with questions like why? Is the pay better? We can't afford to lose anybody at the moment. I held firm and requested my resignation approval. This was 3 weeks ago. I'm a pretty no confrontational person and usually just kept to myself and trying to get through work. I know leaving makes everyone's load a bit more weighty, but in the end, I need to consider my mental health. So, Reddit, am I the asshole? You're not. You're not. Okay? Great work taking care of your mental health. This is definitely on management. You cannot mark everything as urgent just because it's at the end of the month. As somebody who managed some things before, in case that there is something at the end of the month that is high priority and we're not going to have time to prioritize it or actually finish the task, we try to find the thing that we can finish the fastest and then we prioritize that, which if we didn't do, we would lose the most as a company. And anything else that doesn't hit those three things, we move to the next month and we mark them as overdue. The fact that your managers didn't do that, and in an insurance companies are usually big. They should know how to do those things. So this company was very wobbly, and I wouldn't like working there either. And if I was you, I wouldn't quit. I would just do what I can do. And if somebody asks why some tasks were not done, I would just tell them, hey man, I was working as hard as I can. I was doing my more than my 8 hours a day, and I was busting my ass left and right, and this is everything I was able to do. And I believe that all my current colleagues were doing the same thing, and we were working as hard as we could. And this is just how it came up. So I'm sorry, but this is just, we did everything we could. And yes, you are indirectly saying that it is management fault, but it is. But don't say that it is the management fault because they're going to get pissed. So now, in your situation, since you already quit, and you resigned, and you did it very professionally as well. You gave them an entire calendar month notice. Some people give 2 weeks if they even did it. Some people quit on the spot. So it's very professional from you. The questions as why and is the pay better and we can't afford to lose anybody at the moment, those questions get asked anywhere if you're thinking of quitting. And if you give in your 2 weeks notice or your 1 month notice, they ask this anyways, because they don't want to go again into the whole hiring process. And trust me, it is a very, very daunting process to find someone else to replace you if you're useful and you're an important person and you are a good person who are doing their work. Honestly, it is a loss to the company. However, I don't believe that your colleagues would find you a part of the problem unless some of them were assholes, right? Like you might meet a colleague one day just in a cafe or at a restaurant or some random ass parking spot. Sure, they can make a comment here and there about it, but if you just mention to them and explain to them, hey man, I just quit because I just couldn't take it anymore. It was very difficult, it was very exhausting, and the pay wasn't even that good, they will agree with you, straight up, because it is the same opinion with everybody that works there. They definitely think the same way. If everything is marked urgent, everybody is stressed and everybody is overwhelmed and anxious about the dates. So I don't believe you're the asshole. I don't believe your colleagues would find you an asshole. The only people that would find you assholes are your bosses, and they would call you an asshole just because they just don't want to be looking at other people while they want to be doing their own tasks. So no, you're not the asshole. You did your best and you felt like you couldn't do more, and if you did more you would be burning yourself. And for who? An insurance company? Come on, everybody in the chat, fuck insurance companies. We all hate them. All my homies hate insurance companies. Come on. So yeah, dude, move on. It was good. You did the good thing. You're not the asshole. Another thing, you don't need an approval to resign. Just so everybody knows, you don't submit a resignation for approval. You submit it to resign, and that's it. Like, have you seen in those movies when you just say fuck everybody and just I quit? That is literally resignation. You can just resign like that. And if there is an onboarding document, they send you an offboarding document, and that's it. And if there is any other belongings that you own that are actually owned by the company, you just give them back. And that's the only case they give you an offboarding document, by the way. And yeah, dude, that's it. That's it. Moving on. Am I the asshole for backing out of the baby shower of my brother's girlfriend, who's also my pregnant best friend of 22 years? Okay, who made her pregnant? Did you make her pregnant? Please don't tell me that you made her pregnant. Moving on. I'll try to keep this as concise as possible. My female 33-year-old friend, since age 12, is pregnant with my little brother's 27-year-old baby. Okay, good. That's your brother. Wow, that is a family relationship. Okay, I see. This is always a recipe for bad shit. Always. When they started dating, I was over the moon. Good. They have been crushing on each other for more than a decade and everything aligned, and they finally got together. Her IUD failed, and now they're going to have a baby. The baby situation is messy and complicated, but only slightly relevant. She has a 12-year-old that refuses to see her and didn't take good care of him when she did have him a few years back. Oh. She struggles with mental health but refuses to seek treatment and finds every reason possible to skip work, stay in bed, and neglect obligation. My brother didn't want kids, ever, but stood by her decisions to keep it. My brother has a great career and is super stable. My best friend has a history of leaning on others for as much as possible. So my family is worried she's going to expect him to take care of her and the baby while she contributes little to nothing. I'm supportive of their decision because I want my brother to be happy, and the baby's my blood regardless of less than the ideal circumstances. I was set to plan and host the baby shower, as I did with her first son 12 years ago. This is a good time to mention that I broke up with my fiance due to him cheating in April 2025. And prior to that, my best friend has moved in with him and I. When I moved out, she chose continuing living with my ex. It made me uncomfortable, but it's not my place to try to dictate where she lives. He moved the girl he was cheating on me with into their house less than 2 months after I left. My best friend has been particularly chummy with my ex and his new girl. And it hurts me to see how close they are when they engage on social media and when she mentions him. Anyway, we were hammering out details of the baby shower, and she casually asked if I would be comfortable with her inviting my ex and his girlfriend. I was honest and told her I was not comfortable with it, not only because I don't want to be around them, but because the party was going to be at my house, and I don't want them in my home. It was kind of a slap in the face that she even asked. But when I responded, she became defensive and told me that she'd feel awful not inviting them because they'd been so supportive and that I've been making the day about me when it wasn't supposed to be about her baby. So I told her that the day shouldn't be about me. She could have it as she wanted it. But I chose to resign from baby shower duties to protect my own peace. I did kind of pettily tell her to ask them to fund and plan the party since they were so supportive. We haven't talked in over 2 months. I'm going to love that baby and be there for my brother no matter what. But I think I'm recognizing that a longtime friend isn't necessarily a good friend, and I need to cut ties. Am I the asshole for stepping away from the baby shower and the friendship? You're right. A long friendship isn't necessarily a good friendship, but so the comments on this one are very sharp and accusative of random ass things. One of them that woman, her friend, baby trapped her husband and she got that IUD removed, which is honestly, I don't know, man, about that one. But here's the thing. My problem is that, yes, it is true that a longtime friend is not necessarily a good friend. And it hurts me because I've been in a situation like this. Not not being pregnant with a friend and shit like that. No. I've had a very long time friend and I was very attached to him. And later through the years, I learned that a good friend is not the friend that you have after 12 years. That woman, unfortunately, is very selfish. She couldn't care less that the man that you broke up with who cheated on you broke your heart. And that is very selfish. It's just, no. It's very selfish and it's painful to even read something like that. I don't know, this post pisses me off. The whole situation is fucked up. Everybody here is an asshole. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck everybody in this whole situation. Everybody sucks. No. They're not gonna die if you don't have a baby shower. It's just giving gifts. Your brother is stable. Your friend is not. I would pity your brother for having a woman like this. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave this one to the comments, but I personally believe that you're not the asshole approved, and your friend is the asshole, because the only thing here that she didn't give a fuck about that man who cheated on you and inviting him, or asking in the first place to invite him. It is a slap to the face. I'm sorry that you're going through this, and I hope everything goes well, and I hope that the baby delivery goes perfectly fine. And man, I'm sorry for what you're going through. This whole situation is fucked up. Moving on. Am I the asshole for playing my music out loud? I, 15 years old male, got my setup moved downstairs to the living room by my parents, who are 44, male and female. They have a huge list of rules for me to follow, and if I don't, I get my stuff broken. What? Today, I got home from school and decided to play some video games on my computer. Earlier this month, my dad got angry that I got an A- on my math test and smashed my headphones into the pavement. So while I was playing video games, I decided to listen to some music. I mostly listen to rap, so there are quite a few swear words. My dad heard this and started getting really angry at me, and he decided to break my monitor. He says I'm being an asshole because it's technically his monitor because minors can't own property. What the fuck? No! You have abusive parents! Son! Okay, first of all, who do you listen to? What rappers do you like? Second of all, you're 15 years old. Your father, he's abusive. And if you're talking, what the fuck is this? Wait, let me dissect this. First of all, an A- on a math test? That's fucking lit. By the way, congratulations on an A-. You did great. I used to fail my math classes on the daily. Okay? I was doing good in other subjects like science and whatnot, but let me be honest with you, bruh. School is very easy when you're 15 and 16 and 14. It just is. When you get to high school and you start graduating and you go to college, this shit becomes rocket fucking science, especially fucking physics, bro. I hate physics, but listen, yo, old man cannot break your monitors like that, bruh. That is actually insane. And your headphones, you probably listen to music on that while you're studying and doing something else, so you can you can focus, you can pay attention, right? This is not fair. And if your father wants to play the card of minors can't own property, bro, I hate to break it to you, but they can. I hate to be the bearer of the bad news. I hate to be the one who burst the bubble, but they can. A minor can own a property, but they just cannot sell it until they are not a minor anymore. That is when it comes to papers, documents, money, bank accounts, vehicles, licenses. All those things, you can own them, but you cannot sell them if you wanted to. You can own a car at 15, but you cannot sell it unless it's written on your father's name. You can have a bank account, but you cannot deduct money from it unless it's under your name. Minors can't own property is insane. And let me tell you something, even if they cannot own property, they cannot be abused. This is emotional abuse, okay? I don't know. Call the cops on this motherfucker, please. Somebody do something. For now, I advise you to work your hardest to not set them off, which is something that is inevitable. By the way, you will set them off, even if you don't. Like, if your father is abusive, he's abusive, and that's it, okay? And you're gonna have to live through this until you can move out. So my advice for you, just like that 17-year-old girl, again, go get your money, son. Go get $1 in your pocket. Work as hard as you can to move out. And your situation is even more worse than that girl's story. Your situation is being harmed, and once your father has nothing to break, he's gonna break you, either emotionally or physically. He could hit you. He could do something like that. Now remember, if he lays hands on you, do not, and I repeat, do not be afraid to call someone for help. Don't call the cops right away. Don't do that. Wait a bit. Sure, you can take a beating once, which is something that you should never do, by the way. It should never happen. You should never be beat by your own father. But just so you avoid setting off more problems, because you might get kicked out, and that would be very bad for you. You might be homeless. Just wait and see how this goes. If it happens again, or if he tries to lay his hands on your mother is a red line. I want you to know, son, you are a man of the house. You need to understand that. Your father, maybe there are things you don't know about him. Maybe he's an alcoholic. Maybe he's just an abusive person. Don't wait for him to be too drunk, too out of his mood, or too angry to lay hands on anybody else in the house. If you're the oldest, you're man of the house, man. And I advise you, work your hardest to get out of that shithole. And remember, son, if anything happens, remember that your mother is a red line. If he touches you or any of your siblings, call the cops immediately. If you live in a place where cops like that do not exist, or there is no child abuse line or something like that, some countries don't, do something about it. That's all I have to say. Moving on. Am I the asshole for setting boundaries after finding out my friend has a habit of forcing others to parent her kid? I'm going to try to make this short. Bleh. I'm going to try to make this short. I, 22 female, have a friend who's 24 female, who has a kid of age 2, and as much as I love watching and parenting for her, it always gets to a point. Every time we hang out, she kinda checks out, goes on her phone, or just wanders off. This isn't a one-time occurrence, it happens way too often. Whether we're at the mall or just having a walk, she leaves full responsibility of watching over and parenting her to me. Sometimes she dumps her at my place because I live just down the road from her. I always complain to her too. I never had much of a problem until I found out she does the same with her sister at home. That's when I realized I've been enabling her too. I spoke to her later that day about how she's being very lazy in taking care of her kid, and she got mad at me saying I don't know about taking care of a kid, so I'm not allowed to judge her. I was shocked and told her I can't overwatch her kid anymore until she decides to be responsible. She has been calling to me over and over to hang out since then, and I've been saying no, but I feel like an asshole whenever I do that. You are not the asshole. Son, let me tell you something. Fuck you mean you don't know anything about taking care of a child. Bitch, if you didn't know taking care of a child, you would have done it yourself. Okay? Let's just get this point across. If you know how to take care of a child, you would have done it yourself. And that's it. And the fact that the audacity on this woman was on sale that day. Oh my God. Calling her again to hang out? That was more like, call you so you can babysit my kid. Because I don't know shit about taking care of kids. Ma'am, you are approved to be not the asshole. So I'm going to wrap it out for this day. I think this is enough. This video is almost an hour. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys like this house I built, whatever. I'm going to be starting like a new fucking forever world or something. I don't know. I'll just go on with this. I'll just keep going with it and see how this goes. And yeah, if you want your story to be read by my voice, I can voice it. I can read it, and I can give you my very unprofessional opinion of it. I don't know. Ow. Interesting. And yeah, have a good one. Bye bye.